This is GrantTalk, hosted by Libby Hikind, founder and CEO of GrantWatch and author of The Queen of Grants.
Hi, everybody. I'm Libby Hikind, and I am your host today on GrantTalk, which is powered by GrantWatch.com. And today I'm sitting here with Eric Elliott and Lagrand, and they are the founders, I believe, of the T.I.M.E Foundation, and it's T.I.M.E.
Yes.
And they're going to tell us what their foundation actually does. Go ahead.
Yes. So thank you for having us on your show today. We really appreciate that. I'm Lagrand and Elliott. I guess you can consider me the executive director of Time. Dr. Ayers, our other president of our organization, she should be joining us. But if not, Time stands for To Improve Mississippi Economics. We're farmers by trade. This is our nonprofit that we have, and our whole point of this is to bring more awareness to economics, especially how it is in the agriculture diaspora. So what we're trying to do is, number one, from an urban perspective, we're urban farmers. We farm about 68 acres in Jackson, Mississippi. Right now, we're the largest urban farm in the state of Mississippi. So what our passion is and what we're doing with FSA, we're really bringing urban agriculture to the forefront. We got to say what we're doing and what our purpose is. We're just trying to bring and expand more economic growth and viability and sustainability in agriculture when it comes to socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers.
So what do you actually grow?
So we actually have a small cow-calf operation. Believe it or not, we're in the middle of the city. We do that. We grow vegetables. We grow about 5 different strands of kale. We grow strawberries. We grow Jamaican hibiscus. We grow eggplant, Jamaican pumpkins. So we have different crops for different seasons. And we grow what some people call high tunnels. So we're also introducing a new, I won't say a new form, but a more progressive form of agricultural practices in an urban environment.
I've seen that where they actually grow inside of hothouses. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, that's exactly what we do. We have about 10. We have about 10 of them on our campus, on our property. So we grow a mixture of outside and inside with rotating crops inside of those high tunnels.
And the people that live around your farm, do they come to purchase or they come to work? How is it working out there?
Yeah. So what we do is we do a lot of CSA, community supported agriculture. So we also are. Let me back up. We're also in a food swamp. We're outside. We're way past the desert. We're in a swamp there in Jackson, Mississippi. So our farm is actually located in the middle of that swamp. So to answer your question, it's a couple of multi-pronged approach. The first approach is yes, we do open our farm up to the public on certain days for them to come. We also have a permanent stand at the Mississippi Farmers Market. We're just kicking off our own farmers market that's located in another food desert area. So we have different cogs of how we kind of get it out there, and we really want to put a premium on making sure we get more healthier lifestyle eating and sustainability in urban areas.
So you give grants. What do you give a grant for?
So what we're giving grants away is actually a pilot that we're doing. We're encompassing 10 cities. I'll just tell you those cities real quick. Boston, Columbia, South Carolina, Denver, Colorado, Houston, Texas, Jackson, Mississippi, Kansas City, Missouri, Las Vegas, Nevada, Little Rock, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, and Pittsburgh, PA. So those are the 10 cities. And what our whole point of this is a couple of things. Number one, urban agriculture just got added into the 2018 Farm Bill. So this is all brand new to agriculture in general. Most people who have been growing in urban areas have started off as hobbies, and now they've turned into full-fledged businesses. So what we want to do is to be able to incubate that, if you will, with funding, but more importantly, funding coming from our USDA sources, in this case, Farm Service Administration, or agency, I should say, that we're trying to, number one, get more urban farmers to enter the USDA system. And what I mean by that, participating in programs, getting a farm number, understanding crop insurance, understanding risk. Those are the type things that we want our urban farmers to know. And again, because it's so new, USDA has been reaching out to organizations such as ours to say, we don't know everything, we don't have all the answers. This is new to us. So we want the output from the actual growers and producers who are actually producing in urban environments. So this is just one of many programs that's going on to encourage more sustainability in urban areas. We want to, take away some of the corner stores and start putting more green areas than corner stores.
That is great. So economically disadvantaged people can learn to grow their own food.
Yeah, those who are new in beginning, but also those who are further along, those who actually have a viable operation, but they just need that little push. They need that little bit of infusion of capital, or they need that little bit of infusion of technical support. Whatever that is, this is what this program is trying to establish so that urban farmers feel just as welcome as any row cropper anywhere in the breadbasket of the United States.
A farm is a business, and people need to kind of
Absolutely.
operate it that way.
Absolutely.
So that's what you're
Absolutely.
teaching them. That's
We're
really-
a couple of prongs, definitely the agribusiness. I mean, most people have it down to a science on the planting and the harvesting, but we don't put a premium like we should on the business side of it because, like you said, it is a business. Knowing what your risks are, your human risk, your financial risk, your human capital risk. Obviously, it's a premium now. You look at nationwide, it's hard to find people to work. So it's really hard to find people to work in agriculture and really, unconducive conditions a lot, being working outside. So we're just trying to show urban farmers how to not only have a farm, but to sustain the farm and actually make a living at it. So many times we want to talk about breaking even. It's time to stop breaking even and really start to make it thrive.
And what amount of funding are you giving?
Well, actually, of those 12 cities, we're giving up to 850,000, up to, but not necessarily. But that's going to go out to community-based organizations who have a innuendo, if you will, with the producers in those areas to help funnel the technical support and some of the funding. We'll be doing some of that funding directly as time to the farmers as micro grants. Because we want to make sure as farmers that we want to make sure it doesn't necessarily trickle down. It goes directly to those farmers for those day-to-day needs that they need for fertilizer.
Let me understand. There's 850,000 total to be.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It's about a $12 million project.
Wow.
So spread out over these 10 cities, we're going to be at about somewhere around 12 million. So we'll do up to about 800,000 for community-based organizations. Could be multiple, could be sole source, but it could be multiple in that city.
So the community-based organization will learn to train the farmers.
Yes, most of the community-based organizations we'll be reaching out to, they already have an acronym in urban agriculture. So they already know where these farmers are. They work with them, to either, to get funding or whatever the case may be. So we're using them as conduits so that we can actually get directly into the producer. So we cut across a lot of the technical side and we really get to what we need to be doing on the ground.
Mm-hmm. That is wonderful, really. So how did you get to GrantWatch?
So I'll have to take a little credit for that. I've worked with different Fortune 500s over the years, and when we've done different RFPs for different proposal for bids, we've used you guys, and it was always a turnkey deal. You call them, you put your information in, and it's ready to go. So Eric said, well, what do we need to go? I said, I got a person, I got a company, and it was GrantWatch.
Okay, so you've gotten grants from GrantWatch, and you're giving grants.
Absolutely.
And you're
absolutely
sort of being the instigator for all of this, to the facilitators for all of this to happen.
Exactly right.
So
Exactly
you're on both sides. And when you look at these applications from the community-based organizations, what are you going to be looking for?
Well, consistency. That's the main thing. We're not going to scale it to, you got to be so big, got to have so many years of experience. We want to see what you've been doing on the ground. There are a lot of good grassroots organizations who may be 6 months to 2 years old. We're going to look at them just the same as we look at somebody who's been doing this for 15 or 20 years. Mm-hmm. So we're going to earmark. We want to see, what are community organizations doing in those areas, so we can see where we could help. This is not just going to be a thing where, okay, you're a CBO and we're just going to hand you the money. we're going to want to know, what have you been doing? What kind of track record have you established in those various cities and with those communities that are going to be impacted by these dollars?
So right now, when I think about AI, artificial intelligence, and people wanting to write grants using that, that's not what you're interested in. You're interested in what they
No,
really know, what they've been doing.
absolutely, absolutely.
So you
I
want
don't
to
want the
read
thirty
something that's,
thousand foot.
I'm,
Absolutely.
I'm sure you want to read something that's written well, and they could possibly use AI to help them with the writing, but
Yes.
but they have to have been doing this.
Yes, you have to have been doing it, and references will be checked, obviously. But you know, I don't mind AI. You can put anything around AI, but we need the nuts and bolts of what you've been doing in the community and how you think you should be worthy of getting this funding and what you're going to do with it, and how many farmers you think you'll touch with that funding. Yeah.
Are you going to do any site visits?
Yes, we're going to do site visits. We've already started some of those site visits. Eric, I'll let you chime in and talk a little bit about the kickoff as well as both of the kickoffs. I'll just kind of let you allude to that. Yeah.
So, Libby, what's happening, first and foremost, just to get back to, for us, those 11 cities, which you'll be able to go and see these cities posted on Grant Watch, of course, just to see if you live in one of these urban areas. But yes, in terms of, how do we keep up with what's happening? There is a reporting structure that happens monthly, as well as quarterly, as well as annually, that will be ongoing for anyone who is basically awarded a grant. So that's the CBOs, and the CBOs are basically serving as that hub. And so, as that hub, it's a part of their responsibility to ensure that the items that they've granted to other small farmers, that those things are basically being done. And so, one of the ways that we're doing that is we've engaged with a few other partners. Cornell University, Virginia Tech University, Virginia State University are all a part of this cooperative, and who we work with in terms of just kind of looking at, taking that data. Because what's going to be important is how does this data basically impact the future? And so what we're grabbing from this is basically we're taking from all of these cities and all of the grants that are taking place, and we're putting a depository together with this data, and then from there we're going to take that. That's going to basically become an entire project on its own, to where we analyze what worked, what didn't work, what are best practices to kind of push this forward, because this is just really the tip of the iceberg. Because we look to see this happening across more of the United States as this continues to gain momentum.
And if somebody wants to contribute to your initiative, how would they get reach you?
Very good. So you can actually go to our website. It's going to be toimprovems.org. We've got all of our contacts that are going to be there. You can reach directly out to us. We would love to have you, kind of pick our brains and ask us about it. If you do have questions just kind of regarding the grant, we're here for that too. There's some customer service that's in place to kind of help you through and answer those questions as they arise.
Now, what about the youth that really they're not,
Hmm.
some youth that are not college material, that really they want to be using their hands, they want to learn a skill. What does
Right.
your organization offer them?
Well, I think that's a really good question that you bring forward, and it's kind of twofold. Hold on just a second. It looks like I've unplugged myself.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, so it's kind of twofold because yes, there is an opportunity, and a part of what Time has done just kind of throughout our inception of just being a farm. It's also encouraging local communities as well as local school districts and local universities. We work with universities all over America as well. But more importantly, to show them how easily it is
Yeah.
just to farm. Like you say farm, and the first thing that comes to mind is you're thinking about a tractor and 1,000 acres and a straw hat. You know what I'm saying? But that's really not what it takes. You can farm and raise enough food pretty much for your block in your backyard. But how do you do that? And that's where we come in. Is we show you that how to. we hold your hand step by step. Like it is, it's something that once you learn just kind of the basic fundamentals, and so that's what we've done with a lot of youth. We work with a lot of 4-H organizations. We work with Boys and Girls Clubs, and a lot of other organizations within the state of Mississippi. More importantly, and a part of that was, hey, how can we, help sustain our community? Looking at things like food deserts. We experienced the pandemic, and what happened during the pandemic was that logistically, it became very difficult to, get food to areas, or fresh food and vegetables to areas that really need it. And so,
Yeah,
we
I was
saw a
on
big.
Amazon trying to figure out how I can buy one of those machines to grow my vegetables indoors.
There you go. And
But
so
since I didn't know anything
that's
about it, I was like, oh, this is going to be another hobby I'm going to put on the side.
You're
I
right.
didn't go there.
Are you still growing? Did you
I
get it?
didn't do it, so you guys can tell me which one
All
to
right.
buy.
Yeah. Well, Eric, just to piggyback on what he was saying about the youth, we also host farm academies. So we do different disciplines, whether it's animal science, whether it's horticulture and plant science, whether it's drone technology, or whether it's marketing or even administrative, just letting kids know that there's so much more to agriculture than just, like he said, 1,000 acres and a tractor and a straw hat.
Right.
And just on our farm, just so you know, and also second chances. We work with second chances on our farm to this day. We've got one second chance. He's been with us almost 7 years. So, for us, time is just so much more than that. That the farming and agriculture, what truly brings people together, even in an urban environment. We've got people who are adults who would come to the farm because our farm is just in the city. So people say, wow, I'm 45 years old. I've never seen a cow up close. And that's real. So, and then if we get these kids to eat better, and not only eat better, but learn how to grow it themselves, whether it's in a coffee can or in a backyard raised bed, that it usually changes the whole eating palette of the whole entire household. So we have to start
Well,
somewhere.
we're coming to visit you in the summer. I just want to let you know.
Well, please come. It's a great time to come. It's going to be hot, but it's definitely beautiful in the South in the summertime.
When I was teaching, we would read the book Sarah Plain and Tall, and right, about a farm, and that would just work in the junior high, or even
Yeah.
the elementary schools, and then
Yes.
as the kickoff to what you're teaching them,
Yeah.
to growing
Yeah.
and what's sustainable nowadays and what's
Yeah.
not. It would be a
Yeah.
good
We've got
lesson right there.
Yeah, we've got kids getting into vertical growing now. One of the practices, just from a climate smart perspective and sustainability in the urban area, is vertical growing. So we've been teaching, students, adults, seniors, on, how to get one of these and how to basically raise your own food in the house. And it's been really spectacular, from young and old. Even our farm academy, we've actually changed it this year because the parents said, hey, we want to be able to participate in this as well, because usually parents would drop them off and leave, but in this case, parents stayed for the entire time because they wanted to learn as well. So it's definitely an organic growth thing, and we're just so happy to be doing it in the middle of a city where we think that our services are needed most.
Well, you went beyond growing the lima bean in the classroom, or the potato or the onion.
Right, 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 right.
And
Yeah.
my congratulations to you guys. You have so much and so many different angles for funding and so many different projects that you can run. You're never going to sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Libby, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up one more person who, unfortunately, they couldn't hop on the podcast. Maybe
Sure.
we could have her back.
Okay.
Just dynamic. Her name is Dr. Cindy Ayers Elliott. Yes, there is relation that's there, but and she is the catalyst behind all of this. So without her, none of this would be possible. Great story. You talk about just changing just total industries. Went from working on Wall Street and trading in her high heels as her tagline for work boots on the farm, and so that's kind of where all of this kind of got kicked off for Footprint Farms. And here we are, looking at the scope since the inception and creation of this urban farm to now seeing urban farms just kind of becoming I won't even say the norm, but becoming a necessity across the U.S. and across cities, and not just urban cities. Even I think we're starting to see suburban areas to where these farms are also taking root. No pun intended.
That's cute. Well, really, congratulations to both of you, and to please tell me her name again.
Dr. Cindy Ayers Elliott.
Okay,
So yeah, she's
we will have her
dynamic.
back. Okay,
Yeah, you gotta have her. You gotta have her back. And
okay.
like I said, we look forward to just kind of being a part of this journey and working with these 11 cities around the U.S. Of course, we're direct partners with FSA as well as the USDA agencies, and so we're super happy to be cooperatives and a part of this grant.
And I'm thrilled to be part of your journey, and for Grant Watch to have a part in it. And
Yeah.
thank you for using us and participating with our website and now with Grand Talk. We really
Yeah.
appreciate you, and just
Thank
continue with the great work you're doing. And you should just have good health and be able to continue. And don't work too hard, because I know you guys are really hard workers.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for having us, Libby. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Grant Talk, powered by Grant Watch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to all your local podcast feeds today.